Can you believe that there are some people in this world that did not tune in to the Alliance Vlog podcast? Shame on you! Shame on you! My name is Ella Indy, and I'm one half of the NWA Women's World Tag Team Champion. And I'm Kinsey Page, the other half of the NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion. And you better go listen to the Alliance Vlog, what is it called again? Podcast, period. Or you're ugly. Period. You're power approved.
Hey guys, check this out. I am officially now sponsored by Dubby. Dubby is a clean energy drink made to give you focus with no crash. If you guys are like me, you're always needing a burst of energy, especially with one with no crash. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. It keeps me awake with no jitters, guys. Check it out. Merch link is in the bio. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Pre-Party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is Jay Cal, and today, not only are we grateful and thankful for the career of Kamille, but it's my birthday. I'm not wearing a hat today because I'm going out to dinner after this. I try to look presentable for dinner. Anyways, guys, welcome to the Pre-Party. Again, we do this every Tuesday. If this is your first time joining us here live on the Pre-Party, thank you for joining us. I do see a bunch of my friends are already in the chat, so I'm going to go and say hello to everybody, like Willie and Bobby and Rosville's in the house. Haven't seen you around in Rosville. Glad you're here. Jeremy's here. Let's see, who else? Willie Bowen's in the house. Devin Dowling's here. The Great Hisa's here. Lamb's here. Devin's here. Doty's here. Willie's here. The Vixen Wrestling Club is here. And I think I got everybody. Yeah, so yes, it is my birthday. I am the big 4-5 today. It hasn't felt like a birthday. I've been in and out of meetings all day. All good things. All good things. Hey, Noob is here. Doty points out it is also the birthday of former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Rob Conway. I'm going to double down on that and say it's also the birthday of former NWA World Champion Brent Albright. In fact, Mr. Brent Albright and I actually share the same birth date, November 28th, 1978. Look out now, Daddy. So, yeah, I didn't know this bag was in the scene. Oh, see, now you guys see all my mess. Oh, well. We can fix that. Ooh, there you go. Perfect. So, yeah, it's a cool day. Just another day. We're talking NWA. How many things can I rhyme with A? Yeah, look at the hair. Yeah, man. Thanks for all the birthday wishes, guys. I do appreciate that. Devin Dowling asked, hey, did Kamille retire or something? So, as indicated in the show notes, Kamille today, well, I guess it's not old news, but recently, Pro Wrestling Insider reported that Kamille is not seeking a renewal of her contract. She told the NWA offices that she would not be signing a new contract for the 2024 year. Now, in years past, we knew that unceremoniously, Nick Aldis did something similar, but on his way out, he was content with causing chaos and causing problems. Actually, the NWA contracts for a lot of the talent run annually, and they sign around November, December for the next year. Now, that's not applicable to all talents because a lot of the talents have been signed at different times throughout the year. But Kamille, who had been on a year-to-year contract with the NWA, just this year decided not to renew that contract, meaning she could still work with the NWA. She could still show up to events with the NWA, but she's not contractually obligated to make the NWA her first priority. Where this will be come into play is if she decides she wants to try to look into free agency, look into signing with one of the larger wrestling companies, whether it be, MLW, Impact, AEW, the WWE, or even overseas, or even down in Mexico. This gives her the freedom to sign that big contract if it becomes available. I don't think it's going to change a whole lot of what we're going to see with Kamille. But I wouldn't expect her to be at every single taping. I don't expect her to be at every single event. If the NWA still wants to use her, that's an opportunity that they have. It's just basically stating that from this point forward, she's not contractually obligated. And the reason why you make a press release like this is to let people who are interested, who might have feelers out there, hey, I am available to sign a contract with a different company. And who knows, maybe she will, maybe she won't. Maybe she was born with it, maybe it's Maybelline. But most importantly, Kamille is now will be entering the 2024 year as a free agent and will be able to go anywhere she wants to. Hey, Dodie, thanks for the birthday wish. Everybody, thank you for the birthday wish. What if Kamille signs with the United Wrestling Network? So Kamille could definitely sign with the UWN. The only thing is that the UWN really doesn't have contracts per se. Everyone there is kind of like under an agreement. I know that there's been opportunities in the past to sign people to long-term deals, but that's not typically what the United Wrestling Network does. So, she could absolutely, she could work for Dave Marquez. She's already made appearances in the past for Memphis Championship Wrestling. So, she could work for the United Wrestling Network, but I think this is trying to gauge that next big contract, the next opportunity, perhaps TNA Wrestling or AEW or WWE that could pay her more than what she's making now, I would imagine. Look, it could even mean something as simple as signing with AAA. AAA has used Kamille on more than one occasion, seemingly happy with her work, and there's not a whole lot left for her to accomplish in the NWA. The entire time, she told us the entire time as world champion that she was the one-time NWA World Women's Champion. She was going to hold the Burke for one time. So, she let us know what her plans were all along, and we should have kind of maybe suspected this when she dropped the title to Kenzie Page at the 75th anniversary show. But she's still been around, she's been honoring her dates. She's been doing what the NWA has asked her to do. And, and now she has the freedom to pursue other opportunities, which, that's what it's all about. And the things that she did for the NWA, being Women's World Champion for over 800 days, defending that title both in and out of the NWA, all over the place against top tier talents, taking the title to Mexico, taking the title to Canada, to the UK. She was a flag bearer for the National Wrestling Alliance, and there should be zero vitriol for Kamille, as that she's done everything that the NWA had asked her to do, and really kind of put that division on notice and made it a spectacle in the most positive way, that it was must-see TV. I don't know how many pay-per-views where she came out and stole the show. Specifically, I can remember when she wrestled against Taya Valkyrie, and it was incredible. She had matches against Max the Impaler, also incredible. Her feud with Kylan King kind of carried the women's division for a while. She had matches with Chelsea Green, which I feel like she made Chelsea Green look better than Chelsea Green already looked. So we're celebrating Kamille. I don't want to hear anyone be angry at her for leaving. That's not this crowd, but it happens in wrestling. We wish her nothing but the best. She's been awesome. My only complaint about Kamille is she never had time to do this podcast. That's it. Bobby said it'd be interesting to see Kamille at WOW or Stardom. I don't know that. This is not to put any kind of negative on WOW because I enjoy the product. I think it's very entertaining. I don't know that she would be. That sounds like a lateral move for me. And I'm not trying to be insulting, but I feel like if she's going to be free of her contract with the NWA where her husband is at, it's got to be for something more, something bigger. And I don't know that WOW is bigger than the NWA in terms of what they're paying their talents. I could be wrong, but just as a casual observer of WOW and somebody who follows the NWA closely, I'm not entirely sure that WOW is going to be able to provide Kamille a contract that might be worth not being with her husband and being in the NWA. Noob says, I get the feeling that Kamille might be going to the WWE or AEW or TNA. My guess is because she did fight one of their undercard talents before. Maybe Kamille might be all elite soon. That would be cool. I think Kamille put in the work. She should be able to go anywhere she wants to go. I know that there have been tons of comparisons between Cara Jade and Kamille. I think Kamille is a much better wrestler than Cara Jade is, but we know Cara Jade, she made her fame being a fitness model, whereas Kamille, yes, she's gorgeous. She's a great wrestler, but we know her from her time in the female football league and being in wrestling, where Cara Jade was already kind of an established brand before even joining the likes of AEW. So when she joined AEW, she was bringing an audience not unlike what Bad Bunny or Logan Paul brought to the WWE, just a much smaller scale. She's not on that same celebrity list, but yeah, if AEW was looking for a talent that was similar to Cara Jade, yeah, I know she is not African American, she's white. But yeah, Kamille has a similar skill set to, I keep saying Cara Jade. I meant to say Jade Cargill. Oh my God. How embarrassing for me. Whew. I'm sure all the comments are like, Jay, you're saying it wrong. I should have looked at the comments. All right. Well, you guys get what I'm saying. Oh, geez. Kamille should win the Rumble and defeat Rhea. Not a WWE podcast. I know, but she's earned it. Rhea Ripley's on top of the world right now. I don't know that I would do anything to change what's going on with Rhea Ripley. She's fantastic. And, I think if they are going to make a move on Rhea Ripley, it might be Jade Cargill, not Cara Jade. Jeez, Jade. Kamille and TNA will be epic as it's the best women's division in North America. And she's already had some battles with some of the women in that division. So, she's shared the ring with a lot of those ladies in AAA. So it wouldn't be that far-fetched. Again, she might even just go and opt for a deal with AAA that sees her work, a couple weeks a month, back and forth between Mexico. She's done that trip enough now that I'm sure she's getting more comfortable with it. James says, money. She really searched out promotions where she could defend the Burke. I don't think anybody in the women's division did more for that title than Kamille. I'll argue that Thunder Rosa was the genesis of that, but I think that where Thunder Rosa stopped, Kamille just ran with it, and that's not an insult to Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa was the champion during the pandemic. She didn't have a lot of options, but she was out there busting her ass to get that title defended and seen, which gave her a job in AEW. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if now that Kamille is a free agent if she ends up in AEW, but at the same time, it's such a hard thing to predict where she ends up next. Kamille should go to TNA. WWE has enough powerhouse women, so Kamille would take a bit of a backseat. Yeah, the difference between I feel like Kamille would be an excellent addition to any roster, but specifically, I think it matches with Jordan Grace, where you have these two very fit females in the ring. It could be very much a niche spot for them, and she's a good wrestler. I think she'll fit in anywhere. How many NWA pay-per-views did she steal the show? As far as I remember, since she wins the title, it was all of it. Dodie. See, Dodie gets it. Dodie knows. Kamille taking off Toni Storm's head in a black and white segment sounds fun. What if she came in as her insurance policy? James says he'd like to see her go to ROH or Impact. Yeah. No, I don't think there's a problem with either one of those. And there's a lot of great talent down there in Ring of Honor as well. I mean, they've got Athena, they've got what was her name? Lady Frost. Oh, I can't remember her name. She was in the NWA for a short bit. I think it's Lady Frost. She's terrific. And they had a lot of women. A lot of women from the NWA ended up working some spots with Ring of Honor. So who knows? There's opportunity. That's the cool thing about all these wrestling companies, is that now we're starting to see opportunity where the cream definitely rises to the top. Where Kamille goes, I don't know, but I wouldn't hate any of those places. And I'm sure she would appreciate a good payday. Now, Willie says WoW is owned by Jeannie Buss, and this is true, but they also aren't paying their talent like a Tony Khan would. They're not making the same amount of money as Vince McMahon. I said Vince McMahon. As the WWE talent is getting paid. There is certainly a pay scale disadvantage. And look, I'm not trying to put down WoW. They employ a ton of women, give a lot of opportunity to the ladies in wrestling, and I think that's great. But it's also a much greater step down from the WWE or AEW when it comes in terms of finances. It just is. Layla Hirsch. I did mean, see, you got me. Kamille faced her during the pandemic, during the time Deeb and Thunder Rosa had the title on AEW. Yeah. Kamille versus Allison Kay was a great match during the Kamille title reign. Yep. Raluca, thank you so much. It's been a busy day. It's been super busy. I had 2 business meetings already today, so I'm a little fried, but I'm looking forward to a nice dinner with my wife and kids. It should be great. We did a lot of celebrating over the weekend. I went to a Star Wars fan exhibit. It was interesting. Speaking of big contract, your thoughts on the article from Ringside News I shared to you about Natalia Mark. See, sorry, Noob, I kind of butchered all that, but what I will say this, it's even more reaffirmed to me that Markova is part of the NWA's plans going forward, as Fight the World Wrestling over the past weekend was announced as a new, not the past weekend, but the weekend before, was announced as a new affiliate for the National Wrestling Alliance. And being under that affiliate banner, this is kind of like a proving ground for new talent. Natalia Markova and Brian Idol are very much a part of that. They run the wrestling school that's attached to FTW. So I would imagine that Markova is not going anywhere. What is her contract status? I believe she's still a free agent. Not everyone that works in the NWA is under contract. In fact, most of the roster isn't. But that's not necessarily a bad thing as far as I'm concerned. Good luck to Kamille. She's been the true star of the NWA for the last 2 years. I have no problem with that at all. Acknowledging her. She is the high chief. She is our she did it, man. She did the damn thing. And when we couldn't brag about having Tyrus as a world's heavyweight champion because he was just god awful in the ring, we had Kamille that we could brag about, right? And she was having good matches with top tier talent. She wrestled Saraya in Chicago. She wrestled tie-up both in Mexico and in the U.S. She took on all challengers, man. There's nobody who did it better. Like I said, Thunder Rosa is a close number 2, and had Thunder Rosa been around outside of the pandemic as champion, she could have been number 1. But Kamille was there; she put in the work, and she's going to be in a big movie in a couple of weeks, couple months. I don't know when it comes out. Bobby got me, Lady Frost. Janine is tighter with the checkbook than your old dad was. Jeez. Awesome. She could go to TNA on a per appearance deal and still do NWA dates. Yeah, I mean, basically anywhere she's not exclusive, she could still do dates with the NWA. She's just not going to be. NWA isn't number 1 for her. It's going to be a backup. Think of it a lot like how Matt Cardona is. Matt Cardona is not signed to the NWA, but if you kind of had to name people who are on the roster, he's somebody that you would mention because he showed up on several pay-per-views. And if it lines up, it lines up. We'll see Kamille at a pay-per-view. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's okay too. Natalya won't go anywhere from the NWA unless she got offer from the big leagues. Exactly. Tony says, and tonight is a debut of Brian Idol in the NWA. It's so funny. Brian Idol, Mercurio, for those of you who aren't aware, actually wrestled on one of the earlier episodes of Primetime Live when they were doing weekly pay-per-views during the pandemic. Brian Idol had one match. It wasn't the greatest match. He didn't come back. That was it. And then he showed up in the NWA as Mercurio. So now he's going back to his roots. He's going to be Brian Idol. I don't know how much of a gimmick change it's for him, but he's been around for a long time. People don't realize that because of the weird name, but Brian Idol has been wrestling around like New York, Florida. He's been around. He's not a rookie or anything like that. And no relation. And I don't know, Scoop. I mean, maybe he doesn't talk with an accent. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have a doppelganger. I hope Natalya will get any titles from the NWA. She's talented, have loyal fan base, and also loyal to Billy in the NWA. If she's never got during her stay in the NWA, it'll be NWA's big mistake. I agree. I thought Markova was going to win the TV title, to be quite honest, before Max ended up winning the championship. I don't think I'd pull the trigger on Markova being world champion, at least not at the moment. I really think Kenzie's going to do something fun with that title, as she's kind of already done so. Max is the question mark, not literally, but it'll be interesting to see if they run with a Max versus Markova angle for that TV title. And eventually, either one of them would be able to, at some point down the road, challenge for the Women's World Championship and have a believable contest with Kenzie. We had Kamille and we had Rolando Freeman running the NWA. Oh, God. No! You expect an explanation about a character change in the NWA, Scooby? No, never. I know Kamille has occasionally trained with Natalya Neidhart and diversifying her training. Yeah, she's actually showed up in a lot of places to do extra training. Mercurio must be his step half-twin brother. Yeah. Sorry. With Kamille rumored to be leaving, do you try to sign Tiffany Nieves? I know the WWE and AEW like her. With 100% certainty, I would sign Tiffany Nieves. I think they are very high on her. We saw her make her, quote-unquote, NWA debut with Exodus Pro. That's where she was saw by Billy Corgan. Next thing you know, she's at the pay-per-view. Now, this is the Mission Pro champion, the Ohio Valley champion, and I really feel like they're building her up to be a credible competitor in that title division for the Burke. I feel like they're definitely looking at her as somebody who, I'm not going to say replace Kamille, but puts another number one contender. Now, when she was at the pay-per-view with Sao Win, I wasn't super impressed. But there was also not a one-on-one match. It was a four-way, and it was just kind of chaotic. I want to see her in the ring, and we'll get to see her tonight. And we could all make some observations about who she is as a talent, what she's able to do in the ring. She's kind of fiery promo, but even during the promo, they kind of just mulled over the fact that she didn't win that match. They said she's on her winning ways, but she actually lost that match. Vixens says, would be nice for us to get a story to sink our teeth into the women's division more than a title challenger, a rivalry, or a fleshed feud. I feel like that's where we're getting, right? Because that's the benefit of having Markova around, because Markova kind of helps add depth to the roster. So you have Kenzie, who's like, you know, her new attitude since becoming champion has been elevated. She's more of a character now instead of just a talent, kind of like a rock star, prima donna. You know, the Pretty Empowered group is a bunch of prima donnas, and they're the Mean Girls too. That's all kind of worked in there. And then you've got Max, who is, you know, besides being a phenomenal athlete, Max is a gimmick. The Impaler is a gimmick. So Max's storyline has not been really set up either. I feel like a Markova and Max could be a great angle, great feud to tell some stories. I'm also really big on Misa Kate too. I feel like she needs to be utilized as well. And a feud between Markova and Misa Kate as to who challenges Max could be interesting as well. The problem is that the TV title and Women's World Championship are both very important titles that get diluted when they use talent that don't deserve title shots. Like, sorry, Samantha Starr, you're not on a win streak. You're not hot. Why are you getting a title shot at Kenzie? You shouldn't. It shouldn't be happening. We shouldn't be seeing people just thrown into title matches because they win one match. I would very much like to see wins and losses matter and building up talent based on their wins and losses. Like right now, as far as I'm concerned, maybe the number one contender for that Women's World Championship is none other than Kenzie's sister, Kylie. Kylie's got wins over lots of talent in the NWA. So we'll have to see. Markova is a free agent, and I hope that the WWE or AEW are interested in her. I just hope that the NWA won't fumble the bag on her moving forward in 2024. Noob, I'm going to say this with no reassurance from anyone in the NWA. I think in 2024, Markova has a championship in the NWA. Markova is like Billy Corgan's Dolph Ziggler. You can always put her out there to put over talent. That's true. She's good at doing that. She's made Kenzie look good. She's made Kamille look good. She's made Max look good. You know, Markova has really has done that job. Yeah, that's not a bad comparison, Lamb, at all. At the bottom of the PWI Insider article about Kamille, the very last line said, "Plans for an NWA Florida territory are absolutely in the works." I mean, it's in the work. They announced it. FTW is going to be a part of the developmental territory for the NWA. So that's it. Real quick, FTW will most likely be the plan in Florida. Yeah, that's what it appears to be. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. I got an important message. Okay. Rolando Freeman is human waste. Ouch. Do you think Natalia Markova should be the one who beats Kenzie Page? Now, that's an interesting question. We do know this. If you're going just by what has been presented to us, right? Just what we've seen through pay-per-view and Power episodes, the person who probably will beat Kenzie for that title probably be Max. I could very much see a world in which Max goes through the Lucky 7 series and then challenges Kenzie for the title. I'm not sure. Markova would be a good option as well. I just really feel like now is the time to focus on what Kenzie's doing and helping to bridge her into that bigger star level. For everything that Kamille did with the title as champion, Kenzie is a great athlete, but Kenzie hasn't had an opportunity to shine like Kamille has. So Kamille did a good job of giving that belt the rub. Now Kenzie is getting the rub from holding the belt. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see how that goes. Be aware, folks, the new territory will more or less Billy's Buddy Playground. We have X's Pro, then the next is FTW, and then JCP. We don't know 100% yet, Dodie, that JCP is going to be the next promotion. But if I had to make a guess, I'd say that's almost a done deal. I don't foresee that not happening, which is great. I think JCP is probably that should have been the first promotion to be named a territory. JCP does the ring crew for the Nashville tapings. They've been really the ring crew for a lot of the shows in that general vicinity. Plus, they have great talents, and they showcase a lot of the NWA talents. We've already know that they regularly use Country Gentlemen, of course, but that was even before Anthony Andrews left the NWA. We also have Thrillbilly has featured a lot on those shows. Kerry Morton has been in a lot of those shows. The Heat Seekers have been a part of a lot of the Joe Cazana Promotions. They've also been using Ella Envy, Kenzie Page, and Kylie quite frequently. So they've used Tom their last few shows. They've had Kamille on their shows. I feel like this is a great promotion to partner with. Unlike Exodus Pro, which is EC3's promotion, and unlike FTW, which employs Brian Idol and Markova, this is a promotion, JCP, that is not. It's ran by Joe Cazana, and although Joe Cazana has appeared on NWA programming, he's not really an NWA talent. So I think it's cool. I'm excited. Willie says Coastal Championship Wrestling should be affiliated with the NWA. Yeah, I agree with that too. I think there's a lot of positive to that, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. But also with Coastal Championship Wrestling, man, they are like, to me, Coastal Championship Wrestling is very similar to Ohio Valley. I don't think it's a top national promotion yet, but Coastal Championship Wrestling could be a bigger thing than it is. They're already running events in Florida, obviously. They've been running events in Nashville. They've even had an event out here in California. At least they were supposed to. To be honest, I don't know if it ever happened or not. But they were supposed to. And they're trying to start like I've seen the advertisements for it. Like they want to try to create that that Florida territory of yesteryear. So who knows? Maybe it'll be part of what they're doing going forward. Maybe it's going to fly solo. Either way, Coastal Championship Wrestling is a pretty good place to see some developing talent. Vixen says, Kenzie's a type of heel who can lose and regain the championship. Done right, it wouldn't hurt her to lose the Burke. I don't disagree with you on that one, Vixens. I think with the NWA, the way that it's set up, we knew Kamille from day one, the one-time champion. But I don't think, like you said, I don't think it's going to hurt her to lose that title if she regains it. I think the same thing with our television title system. I feel like they're so scared for the TV champion to lose the title, but like, what would be the harm? And I'm a Jeremiah Plunkett fan, so that's why his name always comes up in this. But what would be the harm if Jeremiah Plunkett came out there and shocked the world and beat Mims? And even if it was just for a month or 2 months or one cycle of TV tapings, for him to drop it back to the Mims, what's the harm in that? What if every episode of Power there was a TV title change, the men's TV title change? Would that kill the title? Would it kill the credibility? It shouldn't, because that's what the belt's supposed to be. It's supposed to help guys get over. It's supposed to be a title that gets the younger or people that you want to get into the next level over. So I don't know. I think I don't want to water down the Women's World Championship, but you're right. I feel if Kenzie lost the belt, I don't think it would be the end of her career, and I don't think it would be a means for her to move on. But I still think right now, at this very moment, I'd like to see her be champion for a little bit longer. Let's see. Yeah, they do, Bobby. They very much, Coastal Championship Wrestling does use a lot of NWA talents. They've had a lot of Kamille championship matches. And it put Kamille in the ring with some top tier talent too. Yeah, noobs. I also agree with you there. It is a wrestling school, but the production is bad. The lighting is bad. It's not great. It wouldn't have been my choice. If you look at the website, it's not updated often. The Facebook page, the Instagram, the TikTok, not TikTok, excuse me, the X page, none of it's updated regularly. And then when it is, it doesn't look good. Hire Hebond and have him do your graphics. It doesn't look like a well-run promotion. That doesn't mean what the action inside the ring. I'm just talking about on the surface, the very superficial look of that company looks like I could do better. But nevertheless, the right connections. Our pal Dave Scooby says, so does the NWA and its territory show up next year at WrestleCade and put on an NWA Super Show? Well, that's a topic for tomorrow's fantasy booking, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah. Why the hell not? At this point, the NWA and what it's efforting to do, so we know that they're now on the CW app. We know that new shows are still being released onto YouTube. They have a partnership with Fight TV for their pay-per-views. I mean, that's a pretty decent setup. You've got a territory that has an affiliation with Premier Wrestling Network. We haven't seen any shows appear there yet, but Exodus Pro has a deal with PWN. We've got Joe Cazana Promotions. If that is what happens, they air their shows on YouTube. They don't have pay-per-views as it is today. And then if you look at FTW, they're also on YouTube. So what does that mean for the NWA going forward? Right now, I don't know. But at WrestleCade, there's opportunities. WrestleCade, I believe, was showed on the Title Match Network. At least one of the events was. And, maybe that's something that could happen for them. They're obviously accumulating some young talent to put with their existing roster to make a much bigger wrestling promotion, and we'll see how that pans out. We might be still 5 years away from this to getting to that next level, or we might be 5 months away. It's kind of hard to tell because the NWA has this way of leaping over obstacles relatively quickly. When they brought in Cody to challenge for the 10 pounds of gold, I mean, I felt like that pushed the narrative of the NWA and its return to such a great level. It really brought a lot of eyeballs back to the 10 pounds of gold. And then they went away again when things happened. But, it went from you had the All In, the 70th anniversary show, and then it stalled out a bit. And then Power brought a lot more eyeballs to the show. And then those kind of dropped during the pandemic. And then when EC3 won the title, and now they're on CW, maybe we're going to get some more eyeballs to the product. At the end of the day, though, I'm not going to hold my breath for anything and just be happy to see the growth of the NWA. Devin says it's funny. JCP used to be Jim Crockett, but now it's Joe Cazana. It's funny as he used to work for Jim Crockett. They're currently a reboot of Georgia Championship Wrestling here in Georgia. They have a YouTube channel. Would love to see them affiliated with the NWA. I mean, it could happen, man. I don't know to the extent of where Billy, how he wants to grow this territory system. A lot of us were disappointed when they eliminated the territories during the Tharp era and made everyone a licensee. And then that program ended when Billy bought the brand. So I don't know where he wants to go with it. And I feel like anything that's promoting the NWA brand in a positive way is a good thing. I know you guys agree with me about the TV title. The TV title should be changing hands every 4 to 5 weeks. Fast turnover for build-up. Rosville, what do you think of the website, the FTW website? Devin says, who is your favorite of all time? You have to be more specific, because if you're asking me who my favorite wrestler of all time is, that guy right there. I know he's in AEW. I know he's not an NWA World Champion, but that's my favorite of all time. Let's see. I'd like to see Mims versus Jeremiah Plunkett. Yeah, I mean that's a match. I think that'd be a fun match to watch. And I know Mims is better than what we've seen. I do know that. And I think Jeremiah Plunkett is a lot better than what he's been given in the NWA. And if you see some of the Power Surge matches, he's definitely a lot better wrestler than I think they give him the opportunity to be on TV. And that's not to put him down. I like Jeremiah Plunkett. I think he's a great dude. And I call him friend of the show because he's a friend of the show. Cody and Aldis, or Cody versus Aldis, and then Power on YouTube. You got me here. Now you're all stuck with me. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Cody, and it's funny because I was around those negotiations. Like I'm not a part of them, but my ear was to the microphone, to the cup, and I had my ear on the cup like this to the office meeting door. I got to hear about a lot of that stuff. They were making those negotiations in China. I don't know if you guys remember, it was the biggest NWA match of the year in 2018. Up until April was supposed to be that 10 pounds of gold match in China. It was supposed to be Nick Aldis versus Colt Cabana. That was going to be the big match of the year. But then all of a sudden, Cody and the Bucks start talking about doing a pay-per-view in Chicago and landing all this talent. And as soon as the match turned to Aldis versus Cody for the 10 pounds of gold, forget it. Forget it. Everything just skyrocketed. Their views, the 10 pounds of gold series on the NWA channel started getting more play. You would see the NWA like Nick Aldis, the 10 pounds of gold on Cody's channel, on the Elite's channel. It really rocketed the NWA forward. I know some people disagree with me, but you can't lie to the optics, man. It's what I see. Yeah, Joe has been my guy since about 2002. I used to watch Samoa Joe when he wrestled at UPW, which at the time was not 100%, but kind of like a developmental promotion for the WWE. It's the place that presented John Cena to the WWE. It gave Frankie Kazarian an opportunity to join the WWE. It also did some things that we're not proud of, like John Heidenreich, Nathan Jones, Luther Reigns, KG Sakota, who rest in peace, Aaron Aguilera, who you guys might remember as Jesus, the guy that stabbed John Cena. It was a beacon of talent that would end up going to the WWE. None of them really stuck long term, with the exception of John Cena. And Samoa Joe was really a guy there who you knew at the time, like he was much bigger than that place. And during that time, he was also working for 0-1 in Japan. And then that's Ring of Honor took off, and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, everything else. And Joe he just blew up. Favorites: Macho Man, Jaguar, Yokota, and Arn Anderson. That's not a bad list. Macho Man's probably in my top 10 for sure. Natalia, I got a question for you, Jay. If Natalia Markova is the toughest female and wrestler in the world, who's the toughest and dangerous female wrestler? And I believe that's Asuka can face Natalia Markova in a match. That would be amazing. Let me see something here. Sorry, guys. All right. And then Rick's here. What's up, Rick? I feel for the most part, if Billy is at a promotion and has an announcement to make, that'll be a new territory. It always could be something else, but most times it's that. Yeah, I think that's look if that comes up, I think that's what happens. Favorite of all time is Arn Anderson. I don't have any hate in my heart for Arn Anderson. He's a great, I think, just different era for me. This was my guy. Although, I mean, when I was a kid, as a kid growing up, I had lots of favorites. Like I was a Hulkamaniac, and then I was a Warrior, and then I was a Macho Guy, and then Bret Hart. Owen Hart was a favorite of mine. Then I started seeing the Luchadores, and I got to see Rey Mysterio, and I've always been a big Rey Mysterio guy. And then Ultimo Dragon blew my mind away. And then Chris Jericho was so great. And then indie guys like Adam Pearce, loved Adam Pearce. Brian Danielson. There's another indie guy that most of you guys probably never heard of, but Super Dragon, and getting to see Paul London, and because I also like guys that can do the flips. I'm a flippy dippy guy, so at least I'm honest about it. I feel for the. Oh, we already said that. No, I like Nathan Jones. Then after WrestleMania, he disappeared. Nathan Jones had the look, but that was it. Huge monster. Yeah, I felt like Nathan Jones had a lot of untapped potential. Did you know? Chat, did you know Nathan Jones once challenged for the 10 pounds of gold? If you could tell me who he challenged against, I don't have anything to give away, but I'll give you recognition. What's up, Shrek? I wasn't on TikTok today, so you're allowed to be late. Hell yeah, Lions Gold. Listen to Arden's show almost every week. We talk about favorite wrestlers of this generation. Hey, Lamb, thank you so much for being here, man. Have a good night. I know it's much later there than it is here. I grew up in the Ruthless Aggression era, so Jericho and HBK have always been my all-time faves. Reckless Youth, so he's an East Coast guy, and I never really got into him because he never came out West. Whereas guys like Punk, Jay Bradley, the Boss, Adam Pearce, the whole Chicago scene was out here at one point. We had Christopher Daniels was around here a lot. My indies kind of taste like T.J. Perkins, Rocky Romero, Ricky Reyes. We were supposed to get Samoa Joe versus Vader, but Vader canceled at the last minute. But yeah, I have a lot of favorites, but if you're asking me my number one of all time, I got to go with Samoa Joe. Number two of all time, man, that's hard. I have to think about it. Good to hear from EC3 himself, his deal with Premier Streaming Network for NWA Exodus Midwest in January. So there you go. I was not aware of that. Late breaking news. The deal with the streaming with Premier starts in January. Nathan Jones versus Shinya Hashimoto in 0-1. Yes, that's it. He also challenged for the WWA World Championship against Jeff Jarrett, and the WWA Championship, which was World Wrestling All-Stars, would later be unified with the 10 pounds of gold, the World's Heavyweight Championship. So good job, Dodie. You get the recognition. I have no idea who Jones fought for the belt. Yeah, that was at 0-1. Early 2001 stuff. They took the belt off of Hashimoto, won the belt from Corino. Hashimoto held the belt for a few months, and then they hot-shotted it to Dan Severn, only for him to drop it in Impact TNA he dropped it so that they could put the belt on Shamrock. Another missed opportunity. Why not put the belt on Ken Shamrock by having him beat Dan Severn? That would have been so legendary. And if they could have done that on the first TNA pay-per-view, that would have been crazy. But no, they screwed that up. Wrestling is great that we all probably got a top 100. Yeah, I mean, there's so much good talent out there. There's so many great wrestlers, and it's so subjective. Because, again, like I mentioned, one of my favorite eras of wrestling was that cruiserweight division, 1996, 1997 WCW, where you had the influx of luchadors from Mexico. You had Chris Jericho. You had Dean Malenko. You had Ultimo Dragon from Japan. Hell, you had Alex Wright from Germany. It was so international. Eddie Guerrero, I think, had just kind of finished up in the division, but I still throw him in there as well. Those matches were amazing. And oftentimes were way better than the main event. How many times could you see Hulk Hogan versus, Paul White in a monster truck match? I mean, come on. It got to be so bad. Yeah, Jarrett was champion. He was not NWA World Champion when he faced Nathan Jones. What's up, Retro? Yeah, the weather is colder, and I think that's the name of the next pay-per-view. My favorites are Punk, El Desperado, El Phantasmo, Tiger Mask, Naito, Cody, the Roller Coaster, Will Ospreay, and the third. All right, Taichi, MJF, and Takahashi. That's a good list. Let's go. I want to watch Nathan Jones versus Neff Jarrett. Neff. I'm going to call him Neff from now on. Looking forward to watching Power tonight. I think Power is going to be good. Yeah, it's just another day, Retro. This is what I do for fun, man. This is like a party every Tuesday. That's why it's called the pre-party. You had La Parka too. Yeah, who could forget La Parka? Who are you to doubt El Dandy? I feel like today's wrestling lacked character. You're not wrong, Sean. You're not wrong about that. There is a lot of lack of character. The WWE is very good at giving talents an opportunity to have a character. I see some of that in TNA. I don't necessarily see that in AEW. You kind of just have a talent and a match. It's not like there's a development of character, with the exception of maybe MJF, who went from this scumbag, shitbag heel to like a scumbag, shitbag face. So, let's see. Who want to see Tyrus ride in a monster truck? Jeez. Tyrus should have had a monster truck versus Rolando. It would have taken Tyrus. It would have taken Rolando to be in a monster truck to survive Tyrus. Yes, rest in peace to Parka. He passed away a few years ago. I know at one point the LA Park family was kind of signed to MLW, and then they got fired. But that's different altogether. Okay, so real quick, we didn't talk a whole lot about the shows that are going to happen tonight, but I do know that tonight we are going to have a television title match. We're going to see none other than Mims defending the title against newcomer, whose name I don't remember at the moment. So bear with me where I look it up real quick. I want to say I don't know it. I'm going to look it up. It is against Carson Drake. Of course, you guys remember Carson Drake, right? Exodus Pro Carson Drake. Also, we're going to see they're calling it the future of the NWA Women's Division, which I think sounds kind of shitty when we just announced that Kamille's leaving. But Ruthie J taking on Tiffany Nieves. Now, Ruthie J had an opportunity at Samhain to challenge for the Women's World Championship. Unsuccessful, did not win. So this will be kind of like a bounce back match for her. But of course, she's squaring off against Tiffany Nieves, who, hey, she might be the next big thing in the NWA. No joke. Give her roses. She's the Ohio Valley Women's Champion. She's the Mission Pro Women's Champion. She's definitely a highly sought after talent. This could be the path to her getting towards that Women's World Championship. And then they're having I'm reading the description on YouTube, so it says a clash of power and passion awaits as Tom Latimer and Kamille take on Brian Idol and Natalia Markova in a mixed tag action. What happened to his name? Why is he no longer Mercurio? I don't know if we're going to get answers to that, but I know that I feel like Markova and Kamille have kind of earned each other's respect in the ring, which was funny because Kamille was so disrespectful before that match that they had at 75. I think she was alluding to her being a stripper. So we'll see. Maybe it'll come back out again. The main event, I think, is going to be absolutely bonkers. We're going to have Trevor Murdoch teaming with Paul Burchill, who's making his NWA debut. We did see him on Power 2 weeks ago as part of Rolando's the Spectaculars announcement. Anyways, they are going to be facing a returning Tim Storm, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, former National Champion, former North American Champion. He'll be teaming with Jack Stain, who is, quite honestly, the Dane event, the Grand Slam of the NWA. He's held every major title that has been presented to him. The only titles he hasn't held that are currently active in the NWA are the television title and the tag title, the U.S. tag titles. So who knows? Maybe that might change at some point in the near future. But I'm excited, guys. I'm looking forward to tonight's Power. I think it's going to be great. I hope you guys are fired up about it too. I'm going to go through the rest of your comments, and then we're going to call it a night here. But let's see. Bobby's looking forward to try it again. Bobby's looking forward to watching Tiffany Nieves on Power tonight. She'd be a great opponent for Kenzie. Dodie says, I like Sammy Guevara's character during the 70th era. Had he not All Elite, I would love to see Sammy and Ricky Stark in the NWA. I think they would have been perfect for the NWA, and I think that they wanted them in the NWA. And again, All In changed a lot of the plans the NWA had, I believe. Don't give Billy the idea of another monster truck match for Samhain too. It's better than cocaine spots. Sammy's a star. You pronounce Nieves way better than Kyle Davis does. I grew up in Southern California, and I'm learning to speak Spanish, and I go to Mexico quite often. I've been to Mexico, and I'm going there Saturday, and I've been to Mexico at least 6 times this year. So this will be 7. So, yeah. Kyle doesn't got anything on me. My shirts I ordered from Pro Wrestling Tees were delivered today. That's cool, man. NWA gone rated R. The debuting Brian Idol. Great to see Paul Burchill debut in the NWA ring. I'm just concerned what they're going to do with him, because the fact that they threw him in that spectacular segment was very disappointing. After the search for another spectacular, wouldn't be surprised to see Mercurio and Idol both on Power. Yeah, maybe. Pirate Paul Burchill is here. Let's go. I'm pumped. Oh, it's all right, man. Cool. I'm glad. Check out to see the Alliance blog in Spanish using the SAP button on your remote. Look, once I become a little bit better in speaking Spanish, I'm totally thinking about doing a bilingual podcast with luchadors and make it specific to Lucha Libre, but we'll see. Dodie, wow, Paul Burchill for the next NWA World Champion. Now you're on to something. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for us. I greatly appreciate you being here every Tuesday. Thanks for celebrating my birthday with me. Make sure, if you would like to help support this show and see it grow, check out the Dubby. With merch link is in the bio. Also, we have merchandise available at our merch store with Alliance Wrestling t-shirts, ball caps, 2-piece bathing suits for your wife or significant other. We plan to get more and more merch up there. It's just been a process of getting the art right and making sure it's a quality piece that we put up there. Lastly, if you haven't done so already, join our Discord. We have a great community that's growing on that page. Lots of jokes, talking about wrestling, Marvel Cinematic Universe, and a lot of things in between. We do appreciate you guys being here for the chat and joining us in this community, but the community is bigger than just the 1 hour on Tuesday or 2 hours on Wednesday and Thursday. Come be a part of it, man, because we're having a lot of fun and we want you to be there too. And hit that thumbs up. That's always great. If you guys leave comments after the video is over, that helps with the algorithm. Of course, if you share it or thumbs up it, whatever, those are always appreciated. This is a growing audience, man. We went from 40 subscribers to 800 subscribers, and now we're getting close to 2,000. We're at 1,700 subscribers, and we keep growing every day. And that's because of you guys and your support for the show. And I hope you know that I appreciate that, and it's very meaningful to me. So thank you guys. Let's go enjoy Power. And until next time, guys, I should have had this ready queued up. We'll see you at the matches. Thanks for checking out the PreParty, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. You should hit that subscribe button and join our community. I also want to remind you that we recap NWA Power every Thursday at 8 p.m. in the live stream. We try to stay social, so find us at the Alliance blog. And until next time, we are the Alliance. It didn't end. It was supposed to end.